Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Public Cloud Design Tips and Tricks. In this channel, we generally discuss about public cloud design problem statements and the related solution. Today, we are going to discuss about one of the pillars of Azure well-architected framework known as Azure Cost Optimization. Now the problem statement. There are two problem statements you will find. How to balance business goals with budget justification to create cost-effective workload in Azure, or what is the cost optimization pillar in Azure well-architected framework? We will cover both the answer in the successive slide. Now, first of all, why cost optimization? There are a lot of larger enterprise, even smaller enterprise, they are getting motivated towards the public cloud because of the fast users, because of the quick enterprise growth, because of the fastest, growing to the market. They are adopting public cloud. Then after that, they are deploying various services like, app services, virtual machines, Kubernetes, databases. And at the end, after the deployment, their application is running very good or very well. Then after 1 month or 2 months, they are getting a huge number of bill. And that is not in their queue. Okay, why? Where exactly it is coming from? Because the optimization has not been taken care. They have deployed the services. They didn't think about what should be the size of the services, what should be the configuration of the services, what should be the default configuration. These are all many aspects. Right sizing, the proper planning, cost optimization thought has never been taken care. That is where the cost optimization is coming, and Azure well-architected framework is telling whenever you are designing such applications or you are utilizing public cloud, you should optimize your cost. You should keep your cost as low as possible with respect to your business need. So optimizing the cost means how do you decide which cost to optimize? Where exactly which part of the service needs to be reduced? And that is where the most effective principle that Microsoft always suggests is build, learn and accelerate. So when you are building, think about your NFRs, think about your application need, think about your business need and build the solution. When you are deploying it, learn it, whether it is really meeting your expectation, is it really meeting your calculation. Then at the end, once you get the flow, then accelerate it based on your need. That is how build, learn and accelerate helps. Now where to find the cost? So Azure has really very matured billing dashboard where you can go to that dashboard and you can find the billing cost of each and every services, networks as well as related components, outside components, everything will be reflected in this dashboard. This is one of the best dashboard where you can get the cost as well as you can get the forecast. Like you can see here, in December 11, this is the cost which is getting expected, and in December 31st, if the cost is keep growing in this way, then it's going to meet the above line. So cost is going to increase. So you will get the forecast, and that is where you need to think about what can be done to optimize it. What exactly things are going wrong where the cost is increasing drastically. So to get that, you can use this billing dashboard to get that information. It has lot of capabilities like alerting. You can set the budget alert where you will get the alert when you reach that budget goal of that particular resource group or that particular service. And then you can also filter it out with respect to monthly budget, weekly budget, as well as you can also filter it out with 6 months or yearly budget as well. So these are all many things which is there. I just have captured this image from the Microsoft portal. I highly recommend go to the portal go to the Microsoft doc and you can find this information. I have extracted it from the Microsoft document so that I can explain it. Now how to optimize your cloud investment with cost management. The 4 pillar is plan ahead, ensure visibility, be accountable and optimize. I will go through one by one. Plan ahead. That means before you start your deployment of your application, you need to design it well. You need to tailor it well so that you can optimize, you can understand what should be the configuration or what should be the service that you should take. What should be the size of that service. That means right sizing needs to be done. What should be the configuration, what exactly the business need, what are all non-functional requirements and also the business need. Based on that, you decide which service, what should be the configuration, where to be deployed and how much time it should run, how much time it should stop. You can think about a simple solution. Like if you have a virtual machine, you are running it for 24 hours, but your business is using for 4 hours. Then what is happening to the rest of the 20 hours? You can stop it. If you stop it, it will drastically reduce your cost. This is how you tailor it. This is how you right size it, or this is how you monitor it. Okay, so this is where your planning needs to be there in the initial phase. Second is ensure visibility and be accountable. The first and foremost thing most of the organization are lacking is awareness across the development community. Okay, there is a cost which is linked to your services that you are using. You will find a lot of organizations are really struggling with higher budget because their development community are misusing the environment in a very wrong way. They are there are also scenarios which where you have seen like multiple teams, they are deploying their services, multiple organizations, they are deploying their applications or infrastructure, then after that they are doing the testing, then if it is not working, okay, let's deploy another service, then forget completely to delete the previous service. So that's where a awareness needs to be there across the organization. For all the organization, those who are adopting public cloud should be aware about the cost management. Second, getting them observer on the behavior and prediction. So you should definitely observe, as in the previous diagram I was showing, you need to see the prediction. What is the prediction that is coming from your cost dashboard, like when the cost is going to change. Having the right developer accountable for the cost traceability, that is also most important part. If you have the developer who doesn't have that mindset, that doesn't have that knowledge, okay, to adopt that, then you deploy it for the cost management, it is not going to help. So that's where you have to find out the right person to delegate to execute that work. And the last one, automate as much as possible. Don't make it manual process. Automate it with the help of alert, with the help of billing alert, where you can get a alert when the budget is meeting the exactly set the goals that you have set for that particular resource group or that particular service. So alerting also can be utilized. There are many other automation which can be done by PowerShell, CLI. So you can stop and start the server. You can stop and start the Kubernetes for the app services. There are many things which can be done based on your NFRs. Okay, so this is where the ensure visibility and accountability is coming. The last one is optimize. When we are talking about optimize, once you get the forecast and right visibility, then decision can be taken. Like as I said, like set up the alert, or stop the server, or you scale down your Kubernetes capabilities. These are all things can be done once you get that visibility, what exactly going on. And selection of the configuration like SKU, vCPU, these are all can be the biggest factor of your generating cost. So you need to be very careful when you are selecting which SKU and why exactly you need that particular SKU, whether it is really meeting your your business need or your technical need, or you can also lower it down. That this type of discussions or decisions can be taken up in the initial phase. That's where the optimization is coming. Now the enterprise setup. When you are setting up a bigger enterprise or larger enterprise, the first and foremost thing is during the assessment phase. That means before you go to the public cloud, you should definitely do the assessment. So in that assessment phase, build the idea about resource that you are going to use, and the offering and the cost involved is linked to that particular resources. That is the first important part during the assessment phase. There are multiple assessment tools that you will find in the market, like Azure Migrate, Azure Cost Calculator. So these are all tools which will help you out to estimate the cost that you want to realize. Then uses of Azure price calculator and Azure Migrate tools that I said already. Azure offers many onboarding options, like you will always find different plans from Azure, like free plans, pay as you go, enterprise agreement, cloud service provider. There are multiple plans, and based on your size of the enterprise, you can select which one is suitable for you, and based on that you can take it up or you can opt for it. Now, cost optimization tools. As I said, like Azure cost management and as well as billing, that will help you out to get the expected cost or to predict the cost. At the same time, Azure Advisor plays a really vital role, which will always recommend you to optimize your deployments. Azure Advisor also has metric called Cloud Score. So Cloud Score is one of the vital player in this cost optimization game, where Advisor score, which will help you understand how well architected your workloads are. So if it is not well architected, then you will find a lot of recommendation from Azure Advisor, and based on the scores you can decide where exactly you are standing, what needs to be refactored, what needs to be redesigned. That also can be taken. Best practices to reduce the cost also generally been provided by Cloud Advisor. Generally, as I said, like the virtual machine not need to be run for 24 hours. There you can stop it for 20 hours. These are all recommendations which can be opt from the Cloud Advisor. So these are all tools which highly recommended to use during the cost optimization case. Then Azure licensing, this is also one of the vital area. Azure, there are 4 types of licensing you will find: Azure hybrid benefit, Azure reservations, Azure spot VMs, and then Azure dev and test pricing. Now let me go one by one. So if we are talking about Azure hybrid benefit, it will it will save a big on Azure by using your on-premise Windows services or your on-premise Windows server or SQL servers license to leverage the same license to your Azure capabilities, so that you do not have to pay more for the licensing, rather than you can reuse your on-premise licenses which is already there. That is, they call it as Azure hybrid benefit. Then the reservations is the capability where you reserve your resources in advance, and also set close to 70% or around 70 or 72% over pay as you go pricing. So if you go ahead with reservation, you will definitely get a lot of benefits there, but you need to have that demand in your plates, then only it makes sense. If you do not have that prediction, then pay as you go is the better solution there, rather than having the reservations. Then also spot virtual machine, access unused. It will help you to mostly access unused compute capacity of Azure in huge discount, up to around 90%. You will find the discount where you compare and pay as if you compare with pay as you go capabilities. So spot virtual machine are also one of the best solution with respect to the reduction of the cost. And dev test pricing is you can get discounted rest on Azure to support your ongoing DevOps. This means you would not have to pay mostly to the Microsoft software charges on the virtual machines. So this is also one of the another capabilities where dev test will play the role. So these are all 4 parts. Then cost optimization tips and best practices, let me try to cover. So generally the first and foremost thing is delete the idle resources which is not at all needed. Right size your underutilized resources. That means if a resource has been created with higher configuration, then do not and also your compute optimization or your execution takes lesser configuration rather than the higher configuration which has been tagged to it, then please right size it so that your cost will be reduced. Reserve instances to support consistent workloads. That is also, if you have a consistency workload, you know like, okay, this is the consistency that you are expected, then reserve instances, as I said, like it will help you out around 72% to 80% of cost to save. And also configure your auto scaling options. Auto scaling is one of the best part, where like, okay, there will be a certain period of time where you need high processing and or high throughput, and at the end in certain period of time you do not need that. Then in that case, if you use the scale up and scale down capabilities of various services, then that will help you out to save the cost based on your need. Then the last one, I always recommend to use serverless as much as possible based on your needs. The more you use serverless, the less you pay. So I would highly recommend check the serverless capabilities whenever it is needed, and that will definitely going to help you out to reduce the cost a lot. I'm going to give you a small example on AK scale down features, where it has been published by Microsoft during 2022 May somewhere, I could remember. So scale down feature of AKS, it was not there previously. That means when you are scaling up, then there is no capabilities that you can scale it down, and that's where Microsoft came up with a solution like, okay, if you are using microservices kind of architecture and auto scaling is already there, and my server is auto scaling itself to certain configuration, then when the server is not getting used properly, then in that case it should be reduced or it should be lowered back to the lower configuration. And that's where the scale down is coming to picture with AKS, with 2 features known as delete and deallocate. When you are talking about deallocate, that means the allocated VMs which are linked to that particular AKS will be stopped, but the in that case, maybe the related OS or the disk, they will not be they will not be deleted, rather than they will be linked to the virtual machine, but the running cost of the virtual machine will be reduced. With deallocated form, you will find when you want to scale up more, after the deallocation, let's you scale down, and then after that you need to scale up, then it will be much more faster because the images will be cached somewhere. So deallocate will help you to faster performance with lower cost down the line. And when you want to completely delete it, that means entire everything virtual machine will be deleted. That means when you want to scale up down the line, in that case you have to preheat it basically, pre-provision it basically. So in that case, the delete mechanism will help you out, but again it will have some impact with your performance. So like this, you can decide which one to use when, and you can utilize the capabilities which has been provided by Microsoft Azure. I have gathered all this information by following these links. I would highly recommend go through the link and be aware of the awareness of cost management across public cloud, and that will really help you out to help your enterprise to reduce the cost and give the right outcome to your customers. Thanks a lot for listening to it, and if you like the video, then don't forget to share it with your friends and colleagues. Thank you.